Hello.
Hello. I don't know why I sounded so. I know why I sounded excited.
Yeah. Well, welcome to Super Thundercast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Chris.
And this is going to be very, very different from.
It's going to involve no gaming chat.
Yeah. Well,
because E3's next
month, next week.
It's pretty much it starts in about a week and a half from now. So because we can only do one podcast a month
because we're cheap.
Yeah. We're going to do... There's no point us doing a podcast about E3 in June after it's happened, because you've already all on fucking Kotaku and slag Kotaku off.
Yeah.
So what we're probably going to do instead is live tweet E3 when we watch press conferences.
Yes.
And instead we decided we would talk about Kamen Riders.
We would. Kamen Rider is something that me and Chris both are really into. And we've wanted to do something different for a long time with the show, because it kind of meanders a lot, and we've
not played a lot of new games lately.
No.
Let's be fair.
No, we've not.
There's been everything that's come out has been massive, and we've been sinking hours into it. I mean, I've finished Persona. Al hasn't, so I can't talk about it without spoiling it for Al. And put it this way, I loved it. My hot take is still not my game of the year. That's still Yakuza 0.
Well,
but that's because Yakuza Kiwami's not come out yet. And Goro Majima's not popped out of a trash can dressed as a woman trying to fight me.
Okay, well...
that makes it sound like I want to fight a drag queen.
You do. Do you watch RuPaul's Drag Race and just get irrationally mad at it?
I want to kick you down some stairs.
I don't think that.
No, it's not even... It's the thing, so there was one on the series that has been on lately, and she was just constantly fucking...
You're doing the right thing.
She's the right one, isn't it? I thought I was saying that. Have I said that wrong? No, I'm right. I'm not a monster. But basically, just couldn't stop fucking whining about everything. Was incapable of making anything...
I think I know the one you're on about. Nina Bonina Brown.
No, not Nina Bonina What's-Face. The other one. The one from Vegas. Her name was basically Pheromone.
Oh, Pheromone.
Yeah, that whining bit. I want to kick her down a lift shaft.
I actually kind of liked Pheromone.
How the fuck have we managed to go from going, we're going to talk about Kamen Rider... Segue! There's drag queens in Kamen Rider.
There's quite a lot. In the latest series, there's a lot of drag queens.
It's a bit weird. It's kind of that weird kind of way Japanese people deal with the idea of being gays. They go, that's clearly a bloke in a dress.
Let's have a good laugh at it.
Let's have a good laugh at that, but...
We're not those monsters.
But in Kamen Rider, that leads to amazing things. Like in the series Gain, Kamen Rider Durian, which Alex has never seen.
Well,
so I'm just going to quickly show Alex.
Oh, I think
Kamen Rider Durian.
I can see.
That's not the actual thing. This is the Durian Arms Henshin. Just watch this, Alex. You'll like this. Where's the video not playing?
I don't know. Is your computer doing something?
Oh no, it's the set.
It's just a still image. Well, either way, I can see.
Just listen. It's just basically... It's a man in a turban and lipstick who uses a padlock with a mystical fruit in it to turn into a sort of robotic Roman gladiator called Mr. Dangerous.
Well.
And that is all you need to know about Kamen Rider as a thing. It is about mad shit kicking other mad shit till it explodes.
Yeah, it's very much a staple of kind of like Japanese
youth,
youth. Yeah, it's their Doctor Who.
Yeah, because you can't really say it's their Power Rangers, because
they've got
their Power Rangers is on directly before it on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
So it's a Japanese kids TV show essentially, but it's similar to Power Rangers really. It's a guy who wears a suit. It's a superhero show.
Yeah.
But it started in 1971, so there's literally about 2 programs on TV that have been going for longer than it. Coronation Street, and I think the other one might. I don't think Countdown started by then, but I think there's literally something like Coronation Street is probably one of the only TV shows on the planet that's been going longer than it.
Ultraman, maybe.
Ultraman, possibly. But it started in the 70s. It went right the way up until about 1989, 90, when the Emperor died, and it kind of fit in with the Emperor's death that it stopped. It stopped for a decade, and then they relaunched it, and it's been going since. And it's the thing that got me into kind of like Japanese stuff, to be fair, because I caught a glimpse of it on a YouTube video. I was like, the hell is this?
Well, it's very much like got all that kind of pageantry. Like, if you're into like your RPGs and stuff like that, the best way to describe it is like every motherfucker looks like the villain. It's like they just have awesome costumes and they just fight. It's like, it sounds really, really kind of boring.
It sounds really basic, but it actually, in places, it gets quite dark. And it's really funny, and it's quite sad. It's just it's just tonally all over the place, like, because it changes thematically what it's about every year. It changes the cast every year, and to be fair, it just needs fucking watched. Is the best way to describe it.
And there's like pretty much pick a series and just jump in, because it's not.
If you don't like it, you have 40 to choose from.
Yeah, you've got fucking loads. Well, let's get on.
So what we're going to do
with this episode?
We found a YouTube video. It is the openings for every Kamen Rider series from 1971 to 2016, which is all of them. It's also got the openings for the 2 American attempts at bringing Kamen Rider to the West, which were a TV show called Masked Rider, which was a spin-off from Power Rangers in the 90s, which was dog shit.
If you were into Power Rangers and you ever saw it, you immediately flipped over and went, this shit ain't Power Rangers.
Yeah, and the other one was, I think, a couple of years ago, called Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, that, if I remember rightly, they literally cancelled it before they showed the final episode. They showed the final episode on TV in, like, Brazil, and then released it on DVD, and you kind of had to think, fuck, didn't you just show it for if you had one episode left? So it was just stupid. But basically, we've got. We'll share a link to it so you can see the openings, because it goes from very 70s to. Is this still the 70s? This is 80s. What do you mean it came out in 2001? This sounds 80s.
But the thing is, the idea of this episode is it's almost like a watch along with us kind of thing. We're gonna be commenting on it, and you're probably gonna be hearing a bit of it in the background while we're talking about it, and you can watch along with us. And it's going to be
weird.
It's going to be weird. It's an experiment at the minute.
You might not even hear this yet. We don't know.
But the great thing, if it works, it might become a thing. Like, we might do something with it, and it might become like.
It might become a YouTube thing.
Show.
It might become this. We don't know.
Yeah, it might become the new way that you see the show. Maybe. Not like any of you are going to fucking tell us about it, if you liked it or not. Anyway, so what does it matter?
It's just dawned on me that from where I'm sat, I can currently see 1, 2, 3 Kamen Riders. I thought I could see 3 Kamen Riders. They're all the same fucking Kamen Rider. 4, actually, because there's Ixer up there, isn't there?
Yeah, there is Ixer up there. But yeah, so hope you like it. And
so
we're going to get started.
We're going to start. So it's the very first series, and there is a games link here because the guy who played the very first Kamen Rider is Sagata Sanshiro,
the spokesperson for Sega. It was the Saturn, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was the guy who basically threw a dude off a cliff and he exploded, and he put children in chokeholds.
Yeah,
and just
turned up at a club, kicked a lot of people's asses.
It was amazing, and he did all his own stunts originally because he was supposed to be the only character in it, and he broke both his legs in a motorcycle stunt that went wrong. So they added another character, which was another Kamen Rider, and he came back, and they had 2 Kamen Riders. And then it just kind of escalates. It's nuts, but we're gonna start. So it's like,
so immediately
there's a dude on a motorbike, which is what you need.
And it's how all the older ones kind of start, really, isn't it?
Like, big red compound eyes and a scarf.
Yeah.
To be fair,
well, this is the one as well with the
iconic theme tune.
Yeah.
It's just. Basically, this is the other thing as well. All the ones in the 70s. all the villains are always an organisation, and I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be an overt comparison to the Nazis, because they all have like it's a bit like they're all portrayed a bit like that's a Hydra in Marvel and stuff like that, like very
Hydra.
sort of spin-off of the Nazis.
Yeah, like shadowy organisations that kind of operate
experiment
out
on
other
and experiment on people.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, this was the series that kind of kicked it all off. It has that like iconic kind of lone figure on a bike with his like red scarf, like because the red scarf didn't really come back after that, but it became almost like a staple of like Japanese badassery.
Yeah, it's why Ryuji in Persona 5's got one.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of the early series just start with the dude on his bike riding along
through explosions.
But the thing was,
this is V3
explosions and motorbikes. The explosions stayed. The motorbikes became slightly less prevalent as time went on.
I mean, you'll see as you get later on that like it's almost superfluous that they're called a rider because. Like, one of them's a fucking car, so...
It's just a brand at that point,
yeah.
isn't it? But, you know what it is? It's when they made the jump from Suzuki's to Hondas.
Yeah, but then Yakiba's Honda. Let's not forget about Yakiba's Honda.
Basically, we got into it, and it was kind of more modern, I suppose, but just kind of... It's really hard talking and watching the video, because at the same time I was sat here going, I just want to go and find a Rider Kick compilation. I just want to see some people get kicked. Well, it's like... This judge says it against Destron, my hellspawned enemy. You're like, what the fuck?
Fight for justice as Kamen Rider beat. Like, and in the early ones, the songs are always first person. They're always about that particular Kamen Rider.
His bike goes so fast, a parachute has to come out the back of it. And then there's Mount Fuji, because why not? Right, see, that is apparently really hard to have a day where you can see Fuji. So how long did it take them to try and make the opening credits for Kamen Rider X?
I bet it took a while.
X is, I think it's like the 4th Kamen Rider series. One of the villains in it is called Starfish Hitler. It is literally Hitler. They've attempted to bring him back to life, and there is a starfish involved. So he's like a Hitler starfish, and it's just... It don't make any bastard sense. It's the best way to describe it.
But it's like, it's that kind of the thing with Kamen Rider. Like, the allure to it, I imagine, is very much like... kind of like the allure to like it's very much tied into the thing of having a motorcycle. It's like being that one man against the odds kind of thing, which is happens much less later on. It's not about that.
Do you not think it's kind of a weird sort of American-y sort of idea?
I wouldn't be surprised if that's the thing with it, because
it span off from. It was made by the Shitaro Ishinomori. It's the guy who did like Skullman and stuff like that. So it was like there was lots of things that he worked on.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, his bike turns into a
helicopter.
That bike also turns into some sort of strange helicopter.
Alright, now this one. Fucking Amazon. Right. Now this one, this series...
I love how this is all over the place, because we're just watching the screen. Oh my god, you remember this? And it's so good. But yeah, Amazon. Go on,
right.
tell them.
So yeah, Amazon's was very much an outlier. It was when they were trying to kind of create something almost completely new, and they ended up creating something that was so fucking violent. It actually got cancelled. Did it get cancelled?
I thought the reason that it was shorter than all the other series was because everyone was complaining, because originally Kamen Rider thing ends with a thing called a Rider Punch or a Rider Kick, which is basically a kick or a punch that makes a monster fall over and explode. Think like how monsters die in Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Amazon, it was a case of he had a Rider Chop, and he would chop arms and legs off things, and blood would spray everywhere.
Yeah.
Or he'd just tear things to pieces. And
yeah, it was like Rider Disembowelment.
And to be fair, at 7 o'clock on a Sunday morning, turns out not a lot of kids were comfortable with that.
However, his actual rider design, and you'll see it if you watch him with us at the minute, is very, very different from the rest of them, because it's much more
animalistic.
Yeah, it's much more like a monster himself.
Despite him still having the scarf.
Yeah, he's civilized. He's not a beast.
Well, he is.
Well, yeah, he is. That's his thing. But and it was also revisited much later on for Kamen Rider Amazons, which is
series,
my favourite series.
And then there's this thing. There's a thing called Kamen Rider Stronger. And
right now. Right,
there is an S in the credits, so he's clearly made out of fucking tinfoil.
But the best thing about it is this rider's design is he's clearly just got an inflatable suit on to make him look like a buff guy, but he's not. He's just weedy little Japanese man who they put in a fat suit.
And you know, like we talk about the organisations that are the villains. In this one, it's called Black Satan, which you're kind of like, what? Like, Shocker, I get that. Destron sounds evil.
Yeah.
Black Satan sounds like a race crime group. It's just...
going to take a man's life.
He keeps saying it. He's literally like...
My name is...
Oh, he's got magnetic arms.
Kamen Rider Stronger. I'll punch you till you're fucking red. It's the ultimate in the 70s, and like you'll see it like now if you're watching with us, it is just clearly an inflatable suit.
It's amazing.
Decided to cite an evil organisation, Black Satan, in order to defend peace and justice in Japan. Well, yeah, there you go. And now this is when it gets a bit.
This is where it starts getting a bit weird. It's the way.
Oh no, this is the fucking flying one.
Yeah, this is the one where the dude flies.
This is Kamen Rider. What's his name?
I think he's called, not Super One, that's the next one. I think he's called Sky Rider.
Yeah. Where he's a hang glider guy.
But he can fly.
No, he's a fucking cyborg. This is one who's a cyborg.
They're all cyborgs, man.
Are they all cyborgs?
Pretty much up until this point, they've all been cyborgs.
No, but this is one when the intro bit, they say, like, he's a cyborg built to protect Japan. And it's like, but he also has a motorbike. But you think, like, if you can fly, the fuck you got a motorbike for? Plus, as well, like, the actual bike in this one, the way he rides it, he doesn't ride it with the same kind of fucking aggression that the other ones do. I think it's the lack of explosions.
You know the other thing with this one? He just drive it through a wall, to be fair.
Yeah, that is true. But that's just because he's a bad driver.
Shit bastard!
Shit bastard.
He's gone through a window there. He's no idea how parking works.
The actual animation when he's flying is
like the Christopher Reeve Superman movie, a bit worse.
But that's probably what this was. It was probably a take on Superman. Is the cyborg Kamen Rider. For the sake of all humanity, he stands to fight the evil organisation Neo Shocker. A callback
to the original series. And then you've got the one. This is the thing. If you're not watching this video, this just sounds like two idiots talking. But we are now looking at a man wearing all silver with a red scarf who's got interchangeable robot hands that allow him to adapt to a number of situations. And his bike is a big American Grand Tourer that turns into a plane.
See, when Chris first described this to me when we were just dicking about watching these before, right? He lowered his voice, and I was imagining he was going to go, "This is the one that no one talks about because he's a massive pedo," or something like that. But no, it's just because he's got interchangeable hands, and it's the most.
He's a man who possesses a heart. He's a man who possesses a heart of gold.
Be it the seas, mountains, or my hometown. This is actually the lyrics to the song.
He protects them with his 5 hands. One shoots a missile, one's a magnet, one's got a flamethrower in it. I'm not quite sure how you protect anyone with his 5 hands of love. 5 Hands of Love sounds like the name of a fucking stand in JoJo.
It's just... Sorry, it's... This
or,
is
you know, like one of them
Super
special
One.
films off the internet.
Fucking... No, it's just too weird for words, this
Jesus
one. It's
Christ.
really bad. It's so bad. And now I reckon we're in the 80s, because it looks like the 60s.
Yeah, now we're in the good ones.
Yeah, this is black. Now this is when it became super serious.
Like,
This is super good. Yeah. This is kind of the one that, like... Was this one, like, almost like the beginning of the formula kind of thing?
This was the beginning of the more modern formula, definitely.
Yeah.
Because, no, well, I'll say RX was, but...
And it also
This
has
was just
a
them going...
fucking amazing theme tune.
This was just them going, we need to do something more back to its roots, because it is just a bug-themed guy.
Yeah, it's like...
Smacking bastards.
It stopped having the weird kind of gimmicks, like with the 5 hands and flying and
But again,
being a
he's
beast.
cyborg.
Yeah, for those who believe in justice. The king of all truth. I mean... keep on. This is the kind of shit that like you'd pick up on in a karaoke bar. Like, I'd fucking love this if we had a karaoke bar that did this kind of shit. But no, this is when it got really fucking good.
It is just brilliant.
Yeah.
It's just...
And he looks like he's going a lot faster than the other riders. I'll say that.
The other thing to keep in mind is, not only that, is he looks like he's going to go wreck some bastards.
Well, yeah.
Also, his bike's sentient in this.
So this was almost like Knight Rider.
Yeah, but the bike like sacrifices itself. I watched it. I was like 23, 24 when I watched it. I was like, that's fucking harrowing. It gets stabbed in the head.
But the next one is Black RX,
which is a sequel to Black. Right, how he goes from being Black to Black RX is really fucked up. Right, oh shit, the bed. Right, so we're on Black RX now, and as I was saying before, I'll fix this in the edit, but my computer crashed. Black RX basically has a really fucked up opening where they throw him into space, and then his powers evolve in sunlight, and it's fucking weird. Because this is the one where in this one the main the main sort of henchman villain that he fights is his brother. He's called Shadow Moon.
Yeah, but again, that kind of becomes a thing that happens in Kamen Riders later on, where like all the other riders and the villains have some kind of weird personal attachment to the main character. And it's very anime thing.
Yeah,
but...
it's very anime, because I mean, before that there was just sort of like persistent recurring generals. Like there's one called Apollo Geist.
Yeah.
Who looks a bit like a Spartan, but he's got like a cape and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, it was just RX was the first one that I think one of the older ones had a form change in it as well. But it was like this was where they'd change what they were, so they'd go from they'd have different forms that they could be to sell more toys, but to adapt to different situations. And it was just this was the first one that did it, and they were born out of like rage and stuff. So he got so mad. It's essentially in one of the episodes he gets so angry he melts, and then in this video they show the US version, which is just the fucking worst.
Then you got with your prick nose and your shit eyes, and then
that's actual footage.
That's
from Shin.
That's pretty cool.
He's in a fucking crater. I don't know what the fuck's going on here.
The strangest family dynamic. And there's
a fucking weird platypus alien duck thing, and he's psychic. He's got a gem in his head.
And again, this shit is like early 90s, isn't it?
I think this is like 95, 96.
It's 90 fucking 5. Again, this is the American one, and it still looks like the 70s to me. It's so fucking bad. Like, it's like I was saying to you before, it's like 90s Japan looks like 60s USA. It's weird. Like, on TV anyway, I'm pretty sure it didn't look like that in...
No, it was this was just the fucking worst. And then you got into the more modern ones.
Yeah, this was after a hiatus, wasn't it?
It was about 9 years or so.
A 9-year hiatus.
But when they came back, they were moody as fuck. And oh my god, the theme tunes.
Oh,
the theme tunes. We're
gonna be playing the theme tunes underneath this.
But this whole episode is going to have to play out to this theme tune. It has to. Because you'll hear this music and you will immediately think, I'm going to fight someone. Because it's like montage music.
Oh yeah, it is. And this was kind of like the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s kind of angsty phase, really. Because you had this, and then you had a couple of others where, like you were saying before, like the main riders were almost like...
I've ate a punch bag singing this to myself.
Like the main riders all kind of became like the anime stereotype of like misunderstood guy.
Wandering, kind of overly nice, but would throw down when necessary, kind of happy-go-lucky. And then there's the odd one, which we'll get to in a bit, where that ain't the case.
Yeah.
And it's all the better for it.
Oh, yeah.
Because the original ones were literally like, oh, he's a star student, he's a racing driver, he's a cop. Here's all these people like, they're pretty cool, and they just do boss shit.
This one is...
This is Agito, so this is the one that's got 3 different riders.
Yeah.
So you've got a technological one, a mystical one, and a biological one. So it kind of harkens back to every type of Kamen Rider that there is.
And this is the one where like is this the one where one of them is a serial killer?
No, that's a later one.
That's a later one. Yeah, but this one was like where the idea of having 3 riders that aren't necessarily
the same,
but they're not. They don't, and they all have their own motivation. It's
and they fight one another at various points.
Yeah, like it's very different to Sentai, where you've got a team of heroes that are all on the same page. Whereas this, it's like everyone's kind of got their own agenda, and they all kind of clash at some point. And it's, I mean, again, it's very much to be like, how cool are these guys fighting? And now you have...
This is Ryuki, which is the one with the serial killer.
Yeah. This is the one that has like a story that I probably should really be into, but rider designs I just do not like.
Don't like the main design. Some of the other ones are really cool.
Well, like that, the Black Knight one is really cool. But it's mainly the fucking horizontal bars across the eyes. I just don't like that. It just looks terrible.
I want to point out, the plot to this is essentially Persona 4.
Yeah.
Only you replace the TV with a mirror world.
And that's, again, why I probably should watch this.
Instead of Personas, you've got a monster... Well, no, I suppose it is a Persona. You've got a monster you make a contract with that gives you superpowers that are card-based.
That is Shin Megami Tensei there.
So you get to do things like walk into a mirror version of Tokyo and kick someone through a building. And you've pretty
much figured out where the Shin Megami Tensei series came from. Well, in fact, this is probably way later than... Because this was, what, like 2000?
That would have been 2001.
Yeah, so... Yeah, it's way before, way after. And now you have Fives, or Fies. Never really known how to pronounce this one. Is it Fies?
Fies.
But the logo is like 3 fives.
Yeah, because he's got a phone that he uses to transform, and he has to press 555 on it.
And again, that's a concept that kind of keeps recurring in Kamen Rider, is the some kind of object, like everyday kind of object, everyday kind of thing that.
In this one, it's all based on all the abilities come from a company called Smart Brain, and he's got a camera that turns into a knuckle duster. Binoculars that turn into a thing that shoot a hard light spear from his leg, which he then jumps through to rider kick people. He drills holes in them.
That's pretty awesome.
He's got a sword that's the handlebar from his motorbike. His motorbike turns into a fucking robot. He's got... Oh, what's the other thing he's got? He's got a thing where a satellite zaps him and he starts bleeding from his suit and he's all like super powered. The villain in the movie for this was the first English-speaking Kamen Rider.
Alright.
It's all very strange.
Oh, yes!
This is Alex's favourite, I think.
This is my jumping on point. This is Kamen Rider Blade. And it kind of becomes like fucking bishy as shit now. Where it's just like J-pop guys in Kamen Rider suits.
Fighting one another.
And this one was actually my introduction to Kamen Rider.
We spent 2 days sat at Al's house, pissed drunk watching this.
Yeah, and it was absolutely amazing.
The best thing was, me and Al were hype as fuck watching it, and everyone else was like, what is this shit? And we were like, sure, it's fucking great.
But, like, again, it's kind of like... I think this one is, like, very much of its time, and it's where it was trying to start looking a bit more... kind of modern, like they were moving away from that first kind of rider design.
They tried to do a lot of very moody things as well.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
It's when it pops up and it shows you how many things sponsor it as well that you realise how big it is.
Oh yeah, it's a big fucking marketing thing, Kamen Rider. They have like their own fucking drinks and shit.
But to be fair, it's Toei, innit? It's the company that makes fucking Godzilla. Then there was a series called Hibiki, which was never intended to be a Kamen Rider series, apparently, so it's a complete departure from the rest of them. There's no, because the way they transform always involves a belt, and this involves like a tuning fork that you whack off something and it turns into a demon.
Well,
and it's nuts.
Well, that's the thing. It's like it kind of feels like Amazon's in that respect, where they were trying to kind of like with this newer set, they were trying to not necessarily move away from the older Kamen Rider stuff, but they were trying to like kind of do something different with it, and this is kind of like they kind of went, well, this is like too much.
It is a guy drumming giant monsters to death.
Yeah, it's too much not like Kamen Rider, so we've got to move back a bit, and then you get
a thing called Kabuto, which is the fucking best one.
Yeah,
I don't give a shit what anyone says. It's the best one. The main character, instead of being your kind of little Desu wet behind the ears kind of wimp, he's a dude who turns up, tells people he walks the path of heaven, points at everything. It's basically what would happen if Kamino was real.
Yeah,
if you want to get weeb on it, he's the man.
Yeah, it's very much.
It's fucking dark as a series.
Yeah, it's really dark. And there's like how many riders are in this one? Something like 10.
There's not as many. There's not as many as there are in Ryuki, but it's just basically it's just this.
There's loads of them, and they all kind of flit in and out of being a Kamen Rider. Like, it's really, really good.
But it's basically just a guy going, I'm hard as fuck. I'm going to continue to be hard as fuck. There's nothing you can do about it. Cop a beating.
Yeah. I mean, we're being really reductive with the plots and stuff because all of these things are really kind of complicated.
There's lots of
plots.
Fights in this one at light speed.
Oh, yeah.
That's the really cool thing.
Really good.
And then you get my favourite one after that, which is about... I'm going to explain this. It's basically what would happen if the Ninja Turtles were based off Japanese myths and possessed a man who could travel through time on a train.
That is not a fever dream.
It was stupidly popular in Japan, and it's fucking great. It's just, it's you know those TV shows that you watch and they're just happy?
Yeah.
And it's just like, you watch it, you go, it's bright, it's colourful, it's stupid, your kids would love it, I'm genuinely enjoying it. Shit's exploding. There's mad crocodile-themed monsters. There's like... Basically, it's all about monsters that try and travel through time to change your past. But in the process, screw you over. So it's all about learning to deal with shit that's happened to you.
Yeah, and that's the thing that, again, it's a very Kamen Rider thing of, like, overcoming these kind of personal problems.
And the story's sad as balls as well when you find out what's going on. You're like, oh my god.
But it's really good. Again, this is one of those shows that even if you don't like Kamen Rider, you don't like tokusatsu stuff, I think you should probably watch it because it's really good.
Would never have made it in America due to it dealing with,
now
demonic possession. And then you got into the one that was all about vampires.
Yeah, and this one is like the most fucking
underrated.
I love this series so much.
It's called Kiva.
Yeah.
It's basically if Blade was a Kamen Rider.
Yeah,
and instead of being Wesley Snipes, was a tiny Japanese man who makes violins.
And his dad from the 80s was a proper ladies' man.
Yeah, this is the one where they have two timelines.
Yeah, and it's really, really good. Like, this one deals with like there's this really cool effect with the monsters who are called like Fangear.
And they're all stained glass.
Yeah, stained glass.
And it has the best villain, like recurring daft villain, who's this spider monster, but he taunts people with these two hand puppets that are basically an oven glove that's a duck and an oven glove that's a dog.
Yeah.
And it's just weird, and
it comes across as being Savile-esque.
He gets kicked in the balls, and the best thing is when you watch it back and you realise you hear stained glass shatter when it happens.
Yeah.
You're like, his balls are gone. It's a very good series that's worth a watch. But then they followed it. I can't remember what they followed it with.
They followed it.
Well, this is an American. If you're watching the video, they then show you what happened when they tried to make a thing called Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, which was Ryuki from before, but Americanized, and it's fucking dire.
I don't even think I watched an episode of this.
I attempted to because I was like, yeah, fucking Kamen Rider, let's do this, and then I was like, nah, wait, it's shit.
Yeah,
did you see that some of the on the credits though? You can actually see that some of the designs for Ryuki are actually a lot better.
They're not actually too bad.
See, when it shows the tiger one, which is the coolest one. I mean, that's one who drives a manta ray around. That was based on a gazelle. Then there's a big tiger one. That's the main villain. Then there's a tiger one.
It's all right. The Black Knight one's the best, I think.
They spoil it by showing an evil one and no one's going to move in. It's just, what you're doing, stop it. It was rubbish. But then you get back into the anniversary one, which is Decade,
which is a much shorter series.
I bought the belt from this one when I went to Japan. This was on TV in Japan when I first went, which is one of the reasons why I really like it. And his weird pink camera you could buy.
Really?
Yeah, they sold them.
But the idea of this one is something that's been done a few times in different ones.
It was a fan servicey one where you travel through. He travels to different places and interacts with alternate versions of Kamen Riders because it turns out he was responsible for destroying reality or something. So he's trying to rebuild it because he can't remember who he was. And it turns out he was like some fucking evil monster.
Yeah. And it's a very...
This one pissed a lot of people off because it didn't end in the series. It ended through a series of movies instead.
Yeah. And they were all a bit, like... I've not really dove into the Kamen Rider movies very often. Because it just seems like a lot. Especially, like, when you're going through, like, a 50-episode series to then come to, like, an hour and a half, like 3 hour and a half movies.
Some of the movies are really good, like the Den-O ones are worth a watch. And then there's one, they followed Decade with a thing called Double.
Right.
Which is 2 people that turn into one Kamen Rider.
Yeah.
But it's a detective show.
Again, and this was out the same year as Persona 4. When detectives were very much the flavour of in Japanese stuff.
And it was just so goddamn good.
Oh yeah, it was really good. Even the fucking like animated bits and the thing are very Persona-esque.
And it has like,
yeah, it has the cutest girl.
It has like...
I don't even know her name, but she's...
Yes.
Yeah, she's amazing. She just smacks people with a slipper.
She runs around walloping folk with a slipper.
Yeah. And not in a sexy way. I mean, she's doing it because she don't like it.
She's doing it because she's pissed off with it.
Yeah.
But again, this is another one where the story goes from not to proper fucked.
Yeah. But that's the thing that happens in a lot of the later ones, though, where, like, they start off really happy, but then...
They, like, have a really set formula to, and then all of a sudden they go, oh, wait, hang on.
Yeah, it's like, we're going to try and make you cry now. And it's like...
You're going to break you. You're going to be emotionally compromised by a superhero.
Yeah, it's like a fucking kids show.
See, over here, they do it with a CGI tree.
And this one was...
Gaim. That's not Gaim, that's Oz, man.
Is it Oz?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's Oz. Yeah, it's the vending machine guy. It's Oz.
It's the one that's all based around coins and medals. And
he has a scar-ass intro.
Fucking great.
Yeah. Yeah,
this was the one with all of the forms.
Yeah.
There's a guy who walks around with his underpants on a hanger all the time. The recurring joke in this one is the cracker's got mad underpants.
Yeah, it's all about
these coins that are... these coins are all tied to a different type of monster, and he can use those coins, and the monsters are trying to get their coins back. And
I wasn't very familiar with this one. This is where I stopped kind of watching.
All based on the concept of greed. Because that's what the enemies are called. They're called greeds. And he could change 3 different bits of his body to do different things, or they could all match, and if they all matched, he did crazy shit.
It was almost like an evolution of the idea of Double, where his different halves could do different things.
Well, that's what happened. It went Double. It went 2, 3 with alls, and then the one after it's called Fours.
Oh yeah.
And he's got 4 different. He's got 4 different things.
And now you have Fours,
which is amazing.
Is excellent. It's all space themed. And this was very much like Den-O, where it's like, just so fucking happy. You've got a main character who is like...
He's meant to look like a delinquent, and he's a bit of a delinquent, but his whole thing is, he's at the new school, and he becomes a Kamen Rider, and he just goes around being everyone's mate.
Yeah.
He's got a boss-ass handshake, and if you don't give him a handshake, he'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
It's the best way to describe it. And he's in all sorts of stuff. He's in the JoJo movie.
I was going to say he's got a JoJo-esque haircut.
He's in the new JoJo movie.
Is he JoJo?
I don't know if he's Jotaro or not, but I think he's in the JoJo movie.
But this one is like definite anime inspired, like set in a high school kind of...
Sad thing, the girl that keeps popping up in the credits for this apparently quit acting because she joined a cult.
Oh, well.
They're trying to get her away from this cult or something. It's a bit weird. I don't know what's going on.
Oh,
but yeah, this had fast food robots and switches that gave him lots of different things he could do, and he has a spaceship for a fucking head. That's the thing we probably keep forgetting to mention.
Yeah, is that the designs of these guys are fucking weird. But if you're watching the video, I mean, you're watching all this along with us, and you're seeing exactly what we're seeing. So you're watching a motorbike
jump over the moon. Think E.T. with a Japanese superhero.
Yeah, but this one was just so bloody happy.
It was fucking great.
Was really good.
There was a point in time where I actually considered the KFC logo as a tattoo. And then you got Wizard, which was best rider design.
Yeah.
This
Because
is
he's
just
got a fucking coat.
he's got a fucking coat on. This is just slick as fuck.
Yeah.
He's got basically later on in this series, they always get like extra suits and stuff. And his final form thing comes with an axe that he high fives, and the high five imbues so much power into the axe it grows to being like 40 feet high, and then he will just crush shit with it.
But this one was all like magic based, obviously.
It's had the most annoying sidekick character in it, though.
That
little dickhead that falls over there, he is the worst thing.
He's dressed like a fucking toddler.
You can fast forward any bit with him in.
And it's still good.
It's worth watching if you can skip him.
I've got it all. I've not really watched it because I mean, it's one of those shows that like it came on. I think I watched like the first episode. And,
it's alright, this.
Yeah, and I just didn't follow up on it. But
this one's about a guy who was supposed to be sacrificed during an eclipse and survived.
Well,
and he just eats donuts, which are given to him by a transvestite. Again, you will see the guy who runs the donut cart, and you'll go, "Oh God, Japan! Oh God!"
Yeah.
And then you get Gaim, which is all about what happens if the Garden of Eden is a different dimension and the fruit in it can actually create monsters or give you superpowers that turn you into an orange-based samurai or a banana-themed knight or a melon-themed knight or a grape-themed knight. All set under the guise. It's basically the Sengoku period, but all the battles are settled between Kamen Riders and street dance battles.
Yeah.
It's batshit mental.
Sounds shit, but it's not.
It's written by a guy who writes some really dark, fucked up animes, and you watch it, you go, wow, this is a bit happy. Oh shit, no way, everyone's dead. It's kind of descends.
The guy wrote
up.
Psychopaths, which is quite a dark anime. So I was really surprised to find that he did this show, and it's the one I'm kind of most excited to get into again because I really want to start watching some Kamen Rider now.
Because I will say it's bonkers, even down to the horse battles.
Fucking horse battles.
Yeah, and then you've got Drive, which is about this is Kamen Rider Knight Rider.
Yeah, this is, and I remember looking at the the thing is right before a Kamen Rider series comes out, they always show like a promo picture of the rider, and with this one, you looked at it and you just went, "What the fuck is going on?" He's got a tire halfway through him, and he does, but. Yeah, it's all like about fucking racing and stuff, and
it's about he's a cop who there's all this weird shit going on, and his suit protects him from a lot of it, and he's got these little cars that give him abilities, and there's mad monsters, and the extra riders in it are really cool.
Yeah,
like they've actually got interesting stories, and there's like a really cool kind of redemption story in it, and there isn't a shit Kamen Rider series, despite what people on the internet will tell you. They've all got something about them that when you watch it, you go, "Oh yeah, I can see that."
It's just
like,
it's just a shame though that sometimes happens 30 episodes in, and it's like,
yeah, I mean, this was one of the quite formulaic ones.
Yeah.
So and then you get the series I really didn't like.
Oh, which is. Ghost.
I wasn't a big fan of Ghost. I love the designs, but I wasn't a big fan.
Yeah, Ghost really was one that really flew under my radar.
It was a dude who died, and then his mission was to do all this stuff to save himself and come back to life, and he was fighting demons. I think they're demons.
And he gets ghost-based.
He gets ghost-based powers based on not fictional, historical people, and then Robin Hood. But he's got like. He's got like a basic form, and then he's got one based on Thomas Edison, one based on lots of historical Japanese figures and stuff, and then Robin Hood. And but then one of the other characters gets stuff based on like Tutankhamun and Mozart, and one of them's got one based on the Brothers Grimm. And his weapon is a set of quill pens that float around him that he can control psychically. And it's another one of those ones that is actually batshit mental in places.
But it's again, I wanna watch it, but
you may as well. It's a bit more weird than the other ones. It's all about because he's a ghost. He's a literal.
Well, I imagine it's like a very Japanese kind
And then
of...
you get the most recent one, which is the last one, which is X-Aid, which is all about being a gamer and a doctor.
Two things that tend not to cross over.
If you kick an episode of ER through Twitch.
And it's... I will say that the rider design has grown on me, but when I first saw it, I was like...
It's all about a virus that turns people into monsters, and some people use it for their own ends, and some people, like these paediatricians, are like, I'm not having this shit.
So we become...
You've got like evil underground doctors who aren't evil, and then there's a bit of a scrap between all the doctors and stuff.
Yeah, but it could be cool. It's all like the Dayglow Neon shit that...
Oh, like... by the way, you see how he's on a motorbike there? That motorbike's a Kamen Rider.
Is it?
Yeah, that bike is a man. That guy's Kamen Rider power is he turns into a motorbike.
The ultimate power bottom.
If you're gonna put it like that, he's ruining it for everybody.
No, it's X-Aid's the newest one. It's actually still going on at the moment.
Yeah, it's still playing, and it's definitely worth a watch. And we've finished watching all the openings.
Yeah.
But this is the thing to keep in mind with Kamen Rider. Like we said, we've just watched the minute and a half, 30-second openings for all of them, and they're all a bit different, and there's never gonna not be something you could watch and enjoy in there.
Yeah, it's something that it's like people look down on it and say that it's childish, and it's designed for kids really, but there's a lot in there, and like I say, it's quite dark in places, and some really well written
and to be fair,
plots as well.
To be fair, people look down on it, but there's people who watch the Pokemon anime, there's people who watch Dragon Ball Z, there's people who watch One Piece. These are all aimed.
Yeah, they're all kids shows.
And it's like, they're all. And it's that thing where it's like a lot of Japanese stuff. It's like it's a kid show, but it's not a kid show. If that makes sense.
It's their idea of a kid show is very different to our idea of a kid show, and it's that thing of like, there's so much out there with Kamen Rider. I mean, the early the 70s stuff all the way through to probably the late 90s stuff is very different to what they're doing now.
Yeah.
But there's literally a break. I think it's that Ryuki, and then it's just, whoa, what happened?
Yeah, it's mental. Is the best. Plus, the thing is, what this doesn't cover is they did, whilst it wasn't on TV, they did a bunch of films, and one of them's just a straight up body horror. It's a bit like The Fly, but instead of a fly, it turns into a big fucking grasshopper monster. No, that's Shin Kamen Rider. Agito's one of the series.
Oh yeah.
And then they did another Kamen Rider movie that I can't remember the name of, and there's one called Kamen Rider J.
And you've got to think as well, there's Kamen Rider Amazons,
which is the thing that's on Amazon.
Yeah, which is on Amazon Prime.
Which is grown up as a motherfucker.
Yeah, I wouldn't really say that is a kids show.
It's a busy fucking kids show. There's people eating one another.
Yeah, it's very much our first kind of idea for this episode was we were going to talk about our favourite episodes of Kamen Riders, and one of my favourite episodes is the first episode of Amazons, the newest one, because it is you go from watching stuff like Fours, which was probably the last one of them I watched, which is so happy, and it's like I say, Space Friends. It's just really happy, and then you watch Amazons, and it's
not.
Yeah, it isn't. It's about a wasting disease which makes people want to eat other people. It's really fucking dark, and people kind of murdering other people for money because it's that's the only way that they can survive. They've looked out on life and stuff.
Yeah, it's
really
a lot more grown up. And then there's also two films called Kamen Rider the First and Kamen Rider the Next, which are the original series,
abridged,
but they're modernized and kind of a bit more grown up, and they're absolutely incredible. They've got proper mental fight scenes in them.
Yeah.
And there's There's a bit in one of them where a villain like dude gets flipped over and he lands chest first on a set of stairs. So his chest's going upstairs and his legs are going along the floor, and a Kamen Rider just stamps the middle of his spine and it literally folds him in half. And you're like, oh. And that's got like all sorts of mad shit in it. There's like people getting, like when the riders in that get hurt, they cough blood through the masks and stuff. It's like,
the thing is it's like Kamen Rider, like Doctor Who, like Batman, like a lot of stuff over here that's got like such a long lineage. There's
variants in interpretation.
Yeah, loads of variants in interpretation, and there's bound to be one that you like more than others.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're probably going to do a few episodes like this.
If you like this.
If you like this.
Otherwise, we're just carry on talking to ourselves as we do anyway.
Well, yeah. But yeah, there might be a few other ways of doing this kind of thing. But I was thinking, like, what we could probably be doing is, like, get our favourite episodes and do, like, a screening of our favourite episodes, like, put it up.
Show people things we like. Because, I mean, I've got episodes of Kamen Rider I really like, but I've got bits that I like more. Like, there's just, like, some of the fan service stuff in Decade that's just epic.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of, like, standing up, getting up from your couch with your fists in the air going, yes! Kind of moments. And that happens at least once a series.
It's very good, Kamen Rider, at doing things where you go, I genuinely fucking hate that villain. And then there will be a point where that villain gets filled in. Gets filled in a good and like in Fours, there's a really cocky shit in the school who turns out to be a monster, and because all the monsters are based on zodiac signs, or the main villains are, he's the Cancer one, and he turns into a big crab, and what happens is this guy turns up, snaps all his legs off, shatters his shell, and just ruins him, and then you think he's been killed by someone else later on because he appears to get sucked into space through a portal in this guy's office, and you're like, wow, that guy's fucking dead. And it's like, because he's all bandaged up and wrecked at the time as well, so he's clawing at his chair and at the floor, just gets sucked screaming into space, and you're like, have that, you bastard.
It's a funny thing.
Also, the villain in Fours, if you've played Yakuza 0, is one of the bad guys in Yakuza 0.
Really?
Yeah, he's the guy who's holding Goro Majima's leash when you get to play as him. And it's really fucking cool because he just keeps popping up going, you're right, Goro. And like being a little cocky bastard.
Yeah.
And it's really good. But yeah. So yeah, that was us talking a lot of shit about Kamen Rider.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit unstructured, this one, but...
We had technical issues throughout this.
Yeah, we did. And...
we're not limited to the computer not working.
Well, what we're going to do is, like next one, going to be an E3 wrap-up, probably.
Yeah, we're probably going to talk about what we like the look of at E3 and talk about some stuff we've been playing, because we'll have played some more stuff.
Yeah, and then...
But we're also going to live tweet E3, so we're going to just sit and try and talk to people during the press conferences, see what they think, and we're basically going to hurl abuse at Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Is what's going to happen.
Fuck them.
They
make the same game again and again and again,
so
and they want you to fucking pay for it.
So Ubisoft's logo change, and I thought, and what does this mean for radio towers? That's all I could think.
However, I will say Far Cry 5 looks alright. I like the idea of shooting rednecks.
I like the idea of Far Cry 5.
Yeah.
God damn it, I've just contradicted myself. Anyway. Right, let's wrap this shit up.
Yeah, let's wrap this shit up.
We out.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
が探している熱い雲の間輝く選ばれし者だよ君が想像してた未来が歩き出した道に未来はないTake a chance心が求め続けた瞬間ここにある誰もいない地区一人進化してく未体験エリアで始まるリアル絶対自分だけがこの時代を変えてゆける最強のレジェンド見逃すなついてこれるなら君の隣戦うたび生まれ変わる目に見えるスピード超えてくモーション一体自分以外誰の強さ信じられる高速のビジョン見逃すなついてこれるなら誰もいない地球一人進化してく未体験エリアで始まるリアル絶対自分だけがこの時代を変えてゆける最強のレジェンド見逃すなついてこれるなら